Good Sunday morning to you. I want to start today off with just a couple of things. First, I want you to look at the new folder in the course content area that is for handouts. I have put in there a fact sheet about sudden infant death syndrome, SIDS, which you read about in this chapter. So make sure that you get that fact sheet and look at that, and you'll have some information about what SIDS is and what SIDS isn't. We are in chapter 3 today. We're starting with physical and cognitive development in infancy. And so there's a lot in this chapter, and you're going to find that in all of these chapters there's a lot of information. So I want to hit a couple of highlights with you, tell you what else we've got planned for the day, and then just leave you with that. So, a couple of highlights. When we talk about physical growth and development, I want you to make sure that you understand the two patterns of growth that all humans go through. First is the cephalocaudal pattern. This is the sequence in which the earliest growth always occurs at the top, so it's a top-down type of growth. And then the second is proximodistal, which is the sequence in which growth always starts in the center and moves towards the extremities. And so we talk a lot about our core needing to be strong, and as we watch infants grow and develop, it's that core that becomes strong first, that allows them to sit up, that allows them to pull up, that allows them to eventually walk and grab and do all of those things with their extremities. So cephalocaudal and proximodistal, those are two terms that you definitely need to know. There's a lot in the chapter about the brain and what's happening in the brain. There are some things that I want you to know about the brain. I want you to know what the neurons are, that they're the nerve cells that handle information processing. I want you to know that the synapses are the tiny gaps between the neurons. I want you to know that development in the brain is happening from very early on, and that brain is going to be rapidly changing and developing over the course of that childhood especially. And so there's going to be a lot of new experience. You're going to hear me say the word firing a lot. And what I'm really talking about is what you read about called blooming and pruning. As we experience more of the world around us, then we're likely to have parts of our brain that are going to fire up as we experience those things and see new things in our life. The second thing I really want you to focus on is cognitive development, and in this chapter we talk about Piaget. Piaget is a developmental psychologist who his theory of cognitive development is one of the most used and best known theories in development today. There's lots of terms that I want to make sure that you know, so make sure that you read through that chapter and get to know those terms such as schemes, assimilation, accommodation, organization, and equilibration. There are some activities for you to do, I believe, with the discussion board. There's also a couple of video links that I've put below this one that will kind of explain these terms a little better and kind of help you understand Piaget's theory just a little better. The first stage of Piaget's theory is the sensory motor stage. It's in this stage where infants begin to really construct the understanding of their world, and they're going to do that through their senses. So they're going to touch, they're going to see, they're going to taste, they're going to smell, they're going to hear, and that's how they're going to understand the world. It's going to be a very basic, simple understanding of the world. There's one of the key terms in this stage is object permanence, and this is the idea or the understanding that infants come to that objects continue to exist even when they can't be experienced by the senses, seen, heard, touched, etc. And so I'll post a video below to show you or illustrate object permanence as well. So make sure that you are reading through those things and understand those. And I will see you back here tomorrow, Monday.